Okay, welcome back to Eden Zero Anime Review, episode number 5. Yes, this one's called Clash Cyber Family. Yep, this one finishes up the last 2 pages. It finished with chapter 7 of the Eden Zero manga. That the last 2 pages, going through the entirety of chapters 8 and 9, and going through pages 2 through 12, mostly anyways, for chapter 10. Basically, in a way, almost finished this arc. So this kind of means that next week, this arc can be finished. Yep, this arc can be finished, which I'm like, that's actually cool. Yep. Now, the thing with this series is that you're probably thinking, okay, so if in fact they do manage to finish up this arc, what's next? Next one's called Skull Fairy, which starts chapter 12, which, yeah, this one will definitely start next week. Oh yes, definitely. This one picks up exactly where last week's episode left off, where Shiki and Rebecca basically, and Happy, just decide to go rescue Pino. Pino, of course, is seen back at Sibir's base, where she says, "I'm back, master," and he's like, it's like he wants to do his little thing, and of course she wants to stay off the leg. Of course, Whis is there. Of course, he points out though the Foot Brothers. They don't see them until later. Excuse me. And then of course, Wes comes in and basically takes back Pino. Well, basically they want to get attention by throwing a rock at him while Cyber's trying to tear off the other leg of Pino, which. And we also see that Rebecca and Shiki and Happy have stolen a pizza cart. Well, from the way it's designed, it looked, the way its appearance, it kind of reminds me of the Duel Riders from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. That's what this thing reminds me of. Except that, by appearance-wise, it looks almost exactly like it with the same oval dome, and the fact it's a motorcycle, except it's basically for pizza deliveries. Which I'm like, okay, that's actually quite cool. I don't know if Hiro Mashima, the creator of the series, actually has seen Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, but if he has, like, damn, that's a cool reference to that. So, of course, they blast their way right through window, and of course, Shiki uses his ether gear, beats the crap out of Cyber's goons, like pretty much all of them except for the Foot Brothers, and then Cyber just smashes them right there. Actually, he does this before Whis just gets away on the motorcycle. And of course, Shiki is basically, looks like he's crushed. He's actually sent down below the ground. Rebecca, of course, basically is running from the Foot Brothers because apparently they're enamored by her legs. I mean, I get the fact that Rebecca's got great looking legs, but man, oh man, these two guys are obsessed with legs. Yeah, because they want to see her leg, like fully on toes. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. Of course, she runs away from them, and of course, Shiki just happens to find a robot that looks exactly like Michael, and he calls him Michael, and he's like, no, I'm not Michael. He says, an understandable mistake due to the fact that there was a robot just like him made and were mass produced. His name is Johnny, not Michael. And he sees off in the corner a bunch of these robots, and apparently Cyber has been trashing robots for quite a while, which makes Shiki angry. So he basically blasts his way with ether gear to the surface, beats the crap out of the Foot Brothers, and then he proceeds to fly. Well, I don't know if he takes Rebecca with him or not, but, well, he may have, because Rebecca basically just proceeds on foot. And of course, also Cyber is chasing down Whis via a night robot with his bird, Pio. Pio, I think it is. So, he proceeds to destroy the motorcycle. I wonder how the owners basically do with it. And of course, Shiki proceeds to punch. Yeah, and look like though that Whis is about to fire one of his like weapons at it. And then all of a sudden, bam! A big green light comes in. It's Shiki. And it proceeds to beat the crap out of Cyber. Cyber lands like a couple punches on him. But man, he gets the crappy out of him. Oh yeah, and the top of it all, oh yeah, he also mentions to Pino that robots are living beings, which proceeds to having Pino using her EMP to shut down the robot. That's allowing, also shut down Happy as well. It's all Shiki to basically destroy the robot. And as for Sibir, well, we suspect this is about like he was going to use his gun on him. He's like, man, that doesn't work now because EMP. Maybe it's an electronic gun. And he proceeds to take a piece of his own, because he mentions though that the arm he uses is not his robotic arm he made. So he proceeds to smash it with a piece of metal. Does make him useless. And of course, the episode ends very wonderfully with basically Shiki and Pino becoming good friends. Yeah, an absolute great episode. Can't wait for next week. Well, before I end this one, we see a brief appearance by Ursa Crimson. Well, Elsa Crimson is what her name is. And we see a brief appearance by her where she's on the Skull Ferry. Yes, that's what this thing is called, the Skull Ferry. The spaceship. And she looks at Shiki on her smartphone. I'm not kidding about that. She seriously has a smartphone. These pictures, and well, that's the episode ends. Great episode. Can't wait for next week. And man, I am loving Eden Zero. It's absolutely fantastic series. And surprisingly, the series, well, this particular season anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if season 2. There's only about 19 episodes left. Yeah, it was announced only after the start of it. It's only going to be about 24 episodes. I'm like, really? Well, kind of a good reason. Excuse me, for the start of the series only put out like 132 chapters, so maybe the series could be like My Hero Academia, come out once a year, be around for about the same period of time, and take a break by a year so the manga basically produce more chapters. It's possible. Yep. But yeah, that's it for Sick of You. Next video is going to be a new review, news chapter for Black Clover, okay? Next video. Bye.